Let's take a look at the water plane on our course. Actually, there might be a couple, or you might not have any, so this could be a completely optional video for you. So let's go into Unity on my Rock Creek course, and let me show you on this pond because this is a fairly like complex pond. And you can see when if you remember back in the water theory videos, we talked about the components here. We have an outer uh, water body mesh. Okay, so we got a water base, and then that water base has two things. It's got a water base and a water edge. And remember, you can change these textures, and there are some videos in the course about how to change these textures. So you can make them the same, you can make them different. Let me just show you if I turn the water edge into something else here. I'll do custom one to make it really clear. So you can see there's this water edge here. Some people turn the base off so that the terrain is exposed. Some people leave it on, some people remove it. You can experiment with it, but we're going to leave it on for the purpose of this. So let me turn this back to the way it was. Water edge. Just type in edge here. Here it is, dual text water edge. So in here, we have our base and edge, and then we got this plane sitting on the top here. And when you look at this, right now the water's too low, okay, because our base is really exposed, and really Inkscape, Blender, Unity, I'll take the best guess on where this should be, and it's usually wrong. So the couple different ways you can adjust this to make it look better. One is you can turn on this gizmo, so when you have the water plane, selected here, you see it up here in your inspector. You can take this green arrow, and you can just start, dragging up. It's a little bit less precise, but you can get pretty darn close, right? That's looking decent right there. Or you can adjust it here very granularly. Say I want to go that up, say 0.5. Looks like that's actually pretty good. Say 0.48. It's even better. And what I like to do is just have it like licking the sides, if you're right where the water edge and the normal stuff meet. That's my goal. Now let me show you some of the mistakes that people make though, which is, let me highlight my water plane, and you'll see, it's easier to see, if I lift this way too high, see how this green perimeter gets bright now? That's basically telling us that that is a exposed water edge. And when you drew that water plane spline, it does have limitations on how far out it'll let the water, if you want to call it, like flow out away. So if I take that even further here, say 3, now you can see, let's make it really easy to see, 7, too much. Focus on that. Nope, now I got to zoom back in manually. Um, you can see that it's just hovering. Yeah, it's even casting a shadow at this point, right? Not really what we want at all. So if we just lower this again, I'm going to do it by this little gizmo, and right about there. Now I dug this pond here with RAM, and that's why this is almost perfect. See how that's just lining up awesome according to the water base? If you dug this out by hand, you're probably not going to get this level of perfection in there, right? Because you dug it out by hand. RAM perfectly matched the water base because we traced it. You can't do that by hand. And you guys will see, let me start raising this up again so you can see what it looks like. You do not want the water, that bright green or that bright orange, you do not want that exposed in game. The reason being is the ball will roll right underneath it, and the ball will roll underneath the water plane. And not to mention, it just looks like, you know, caca. Um, and I'm getting my clipping, so you guys remember how to fix that, right? Human, or anything really, it doesn't even have to be human, it's just the one that I do. Focus, and then delete again. So this, if I show you now, it's kind of hard to see. Now you can see that that ball could roll right underneath that and cause problems in game. Now you will have a hazard around this in game as well. You have to put hazards around all your waters, but to make this look good and to function good, you really just need to lower that. So all those bright edges you can see over here, it's a little darker, so it's touching. Over here, it's exposed again. You just start laying this down slowly, so hopefully you can, there you go. You can kind of see that orange change. But if you go low enough, it's typically not a problem. And I know from being close that this was 0.48 before, which is a good spot. All right, so that's lowering your water planes.